Interface is a template or blueprint. It is used to achieve the abstraction and multiple inheritance. And interface is created using interface keyword, and interface contains abstract methods, constraints, default methods, and static methods. So that is what we have discussed. And the class implement the interface. So class inside all the interface methods are implemented. That is what we have seen. And how to declare an interface means, I told you interface keyword we are using, and inside abstract methods you write. Every abstract method has abstract keyword. If you write, okay. If you don't write also fine. And you can just declare them without any body. So that's this interface. And again, okay, we implemented the interface in the classes. How can we use them? So you create object for them. Okay, you create object for them. Then you can use each class. You have to create object, and that class you can use it. So that's how we can create object for the respective class you create. Then you can access each class object, because you are implementing in each class differently for each method of interface, right? Whichever the class you are creating object, that class logic you will get it. So that is this inheritance process, how we are going to use it. And here is the one how we can access. So I told you interface name, reference variable equal to new implementing class, and reference variable dot method name, and the return type methods are data type, variable name equal to object reference dot non-static, return type non-static. Okay, so that's the process. Next one, we need to discuss what is a marker or a tagged interface. But this is not that much important, but in the interviews people are asking, that's why I'm just giving a hint. Marker or a tagged interface means an interface which has no member is known as a marker or tagged interface. I don't know where people will use this one, but so that's a marker interface or tagged interface. But I never used this. We'll use normal interface creation only. Other than that, we won't use any other thing. And functional interface. What is functional interface? It has only one abstract method and any number of default methods. That is called functional interface. And you will represent interface above @ functional interface, and public interface name you create, and below one abstract method and many default methods you can write. So that's the functional interface. And again, so I want to explain the relationship between class and interface, class and class, and interface between. So what keywords you will use, you must know that relationship. So let's see here. Java supports multiple inheritances. That's what I told, right? So a class can extend another class using extends keyword. This is the relationship. Class extends another class. Class implements interface. So class implements interface. And another one, interface extends another interface. So this is the relationship. You make sure you remember this keyword, and that's very, very important. And again, see, as he mentioned, interface supports multiple inheritance, right? So a class can implement one or more interface, right? A class can implement one or more interface. That I'll show you today. An interface can extend one or more interface, and see that interface extends another interface and one more interface also. You can extend n number of interfaces to interface. That is called multiple inheritance. Class implements interface, one interface, another interface. You can implement n number of interfaces in this class. That's a multiple inheritance supported in case of interface. interface. Okay? That's the main different relationships. Why class extends class? That's inheritance. Class implements interface. So this interface methods you're implementing inside this class, and one interface extends to another interface. These two are inheritance is applying. That means all these interface methods this interface can use. That's the inheritance, right? And that is following. And here one interface extends to multiple interfaces. That means that is multiple inheritance. It's all about the relationships. So what is the difference between abstract class and interface? Difference between abstract class and interface is, as I mentioned, both interface and abstract class are used to achieve abstraction, and where we can declare an abstract methods in both the places. Abstract class and interface both cannot be instantiated. Instantiated means you cannot create object for them. You cannot create object for both of them. So why we cannot create object for both of them? Because they are having undefined methods. If undefined methods are there, we cannot use. So let's see first difference. Abstract class can have abstract and non-abstract methods. Interface can have only abstract methods. But since Java 8 can have default and static methods. And the second difference is abstract class doesn't support multiple inheritance. Interface supports multiple inheritance. Abstract class can have final, non-final, static and non-static variables, but interface has only public, static, final, only constants. Abstract class can provide the implementation of interface. Abstract class can provide the implementation of interface. Interface cannot provide the implementation of abstract class. The abstract keyword is used to declare abstract class. The interface keyword is used to declare interface. An abstract class can extend another Java class and implement multiple Java interfaces also. An interface can extend another Java interface, and one interface extends another interface, or multiple interfaces also. An abstract class can be extended using extends keyword. So a class can implement the interface using implements keyword. A Java abstract class can have class members like private and protected, but the members of Java interface are public by default. All are public only by default. That's this difference between interface and abstract class. Okay, so let's write the interface concept. That's all theory. So other than that, nothing. And you can, so we'll write the some of the methods. We'll create an interface first. We'll create an interface. Practical we are coming. How to create an interface? Just right click on the package, new interface. So the interface is, so I'm going to create iTelephone interface. Okay, iTelephone interface I'm creating, and the objective of creating this, so there are different telephones will be there, right? iTelephone interface we are creating. So see that again same as a class, right? Again this also has a modifiers. So public, package, private, protected. Only public packages are applicable. Private and protected is not applicable for interface also. Interface naming conventions also same as a class name. So finish and interface. So let's declare all our. I'll declare first constants. So let's declare the constant. I write like this. What is meaning of that? Internally, it will convert like this. Final int min words. Everything is, so it will convert. What is the keyword added automatically? public, static, final keywords. These three are added. Public is access modifier, static and final are non-access modifiers. So that's the by default all constants are public, static. So I'll create a abstract method. Abstract methods. So let's declare the abstract methods. So telephone generally what is the properties will be there? Power on, dial, answering the phone, right? Call phone, ringing. So these are all different uh, properties there. So those behaviors I'm writing. First one, void power on. So this is the one method, abstract method. So next, void. So dial method is there. If you want to dial, you need a phone number, right? So just give that phone number. So we'll take a long phone number because it's a bigger one, not an integer. It's a very so big one. So we'll take long phone number, and again void answer the call. To get a call, answer, and boolean call phone. We'll call the phone using some number. Whatever the number you are taking, long phone number, and then you have another method. So boolean, is it ringing? I want to find out is ringing. So these are all the methods we can declare like this. So different classes I can develop differently for these methods. So that's the main behavior, and abstract methods we have to write. Okay, some abstract methods we have to write. So let's write abstract methods, default methods. These are abstract methods. We need to write a default method, right? For these things, we have to write a default method. We'll write a default method. How to write default, and then so we can implement all this one by one. The different classes. Which classes we'll implement? I'll just show you one by one. Okay. Any questions till now? And we have to write this methods. So what methods we need to write now? As I told you, interface contains what are the different methods? Abstract methods,
Default methods.
So you can default method starts with default methods have default. You can use a default keyword to create a default method. Default void. I can write some method. Send message, right? So you can write anything, just some statement. This is the default methods how to create. You're writing a definition for them. So just write some statement, and then static methods. Static methods have static keyword, right? So we'll write a static. I'm just creating static into. I'll just find out index. So I can return this. Right? It's a return type. Return x multiplied by x multiplied by x. Okay. So this is all the interface we have also created. How to implement one by one. So how to implement this one? So where we can implement this thing? So I can implement mobile phone. The telephone is one mobile phone and desk phone, right? These are the different ways you can implement it. So let's go and implement mobile phone class. I'll implement this interface thing. So let's create a mobile phone class. A class implements the interface. What is meaning of that? Class inside you're writing the logic for them. That's the meaning of that. You're implementing the logic, all the interface methods in the class. It will ask you mobile. So I don't want to take any main method because I'm just implementing my interface. What is the keyword you have to use here to implement interface methods inside the class? Interface methods, if you want to implement inside the class, implements item. Now it is going to ask you add unimplemented methods. It is asking add unimplemented methods. So let's add all the unimplemented methods are coming with a body. All unimplemented methods are coming with a body. But I need mobile phone number, right? So as I'm going to declare first that variable private long my number, one variable, and I want private. So boolean is ringing, one variable I'm taking. And next power on. I want to declare whether the power is on or not. Is on, so I will make it false. Not on. Okay. Typo. So these are the variables we need. So I can supply this phone number through the variable, particular class variable, instance variable value. How can you supply? How can you give particular variable values?
By constructor.
Huh? By constructor. So by constructor, I can give by constructor. So I'm doing that. So long my number. So this dot my number equal to number. So this is the how you can supply that value. Now let's move on to one by one. So I'm going to create the power on method first. So let's implement started executing. So mobile phone plus power on method, right? That's what we are doing. Next, so you can write. So is on I'm setting to true. So then you can say, so mobile phone is powered up, right? Mobile phone is powered up. So is ringing, if power is on means, so mobile phone is powered up. So that's a few statement we develop. Next, dial, okay? So dial. If you want to dial, if it is on, you can dial, right? Otherwise, you cannot dial it. So we'll dial that. And let's see first the statement, right? It belongs to which class? So this method you are developing where? I want that dial. Okay, dial is that. Okay. If it is on, so then only it will dial, right? Otherwise, it won't dial. So is on is true. Is on is true. Then you can say, so now phone is ringing. Okay, now ringing the phone number. So phone number. So phone number is ringing on mobile phone. Else you can say switched off. Phone is switched off. So like you can design, right? You can develop the methods in your own way. So that's what I want to say. All the methods we are developing in each class, you can develop your own way. That's what I want to say here. So however you want, you can develop them. Okay. So next, answer method. So if it is ringing, then you can answer it, right? So write this method, answer method, right? Answering. So answering that. So how can you answer if it is ringing, right? If is ringing, right? If it is ringing, then you can so answer that. So answering the mobile phone. So simply answering the mobile phone or lift the phone. Then so is ringing. So once you lifted it, so is ringing will set to false, right? It will set to false. Once you lift the phone, it will be set false. Done. You answered, then is ringing, you set it to false. So that's the answer method how we are developing. So the next one is, so I want to develop a call. So if you want to call, so what will be that? This phone number and my number, if it is same, then you can call it. Otherwise, you cannot call, right? So I'll mention here the if condition I'm going to use here. If it is same number, this number and whatever the your number is same, and also mobile phone is on, then you can call it. Otherwise, you cannot call it, right? That's what, let's write that. If so, that phone number is equal to my number and is on, and also phone is on, then you can call. So then you set the is ringing is true, is ringing is true, ringing spelling. Then if it is ringing, so what type of ring is, you can just say some statement, some melody ring or something else. You can say is ringing is, you can set it to false. Is ringing, you set it to false. So then mobile phone is not on, our number is different. That's what mobile phone is not on. If it is not ringing means what? Mobile phone is not on. Mobile phone is not on, or so number is different. So our number is different. That's why it is not ringing. Okay. So that's the, so how you can then return is ringing. You return that is ringing value. So then I can use this is ringing here. What are the values there? So that's how you can develop this is ringing value. That's all about that. You're overriding all these methods. Can you see that? All the methods you're overriding. That's all about how to implement interface methods in the class. Next, one more I will implement. So what is the other one? Next I will implement the desk phone. Desk phone is another class, right? Like that, different classes inside the interface methods. You can same methods, you can write the different logic. That's what the main concept here. Each class for the same method, you can write the logic different. That's what this interface and most of the times used here. Basically, it is going to connect between two different objects, right? That's what the interface. And like you can see, a remote control between a TV and a person. That's one best real-time example. So with the remote, whatever things you can do, you can change the channels, you can increase the sound, you can switch off and switch on. So many things you are doing, right? The same thing is going to happen. And next, let's finish desk phone. So here I'm going to implement my interface. Again, same. So implements. So what is the, which one you are implementing? iTelephone. iTelephone, that. So then when you mouse over here, it will ask you add all unimplemented methods. Add all unimplemented methods. And the variables you can declare. So I want a number, right? Which number I want to dial. So that long my number. Okay. And then so I want is ringing, another one private boolean is ringing. So it's another one. And a desk phone. So let's the value you can supply through constructor. So public desk phone. I'm supplying the value to long my number. So this dot my number is equal to my number. So what happened? My desk phone. Okay, P capital here. Sorry. Okay, I'll change that. Rename that side also. Here also. You have to rename here. You have to rename here. Both. So that's a rename it. And then, so let's implement. I think this is power on is not applicable for this, right? So there is no power on. You don't need to on for the desk phones, right? So I'll just try started executing the desk phone plus method answer method. So here no action will be taken, right? Desk phone doesn't have a power button. So that's why you don't need to just write that action here because desk phone so doesn't have power button. Like mobile phone, you have a power on off, right? So desk phones doesn't have that option. Next dial method. So dial method like this. So dial method. I'll just put it here so that from which class it is coming, you can understand. That's the main intention. Writing the first line why you are writing. And now here, so Now ringing phone number on this phone. On this phone number it is ringing. Just tell that. And here you can tell just so what you are doing. You're dialing. So when you dial, it is going to ring, right? Ringing on the given phone number. So just do that. Now ringing. So phone number on this phone. Okay. So that's what we are saying. Now let's implement the next one, answer method. So next one is answer method. And so answer method. So basically, you are implementing differently in the different classes for the same method logic you are changing. That's what you need to catch here. If is ringing, what is meaning of that? So answering the desk phone. You answered, you can answer the desk. So answer the desk phone. Then is ringing, you can set it to false. Is ringing, you can set it to false. Set it to false. And call phone. You can call the phone. So when you can call, if my number is equal to phone number, so then you can call, right? So that's, you can write it. When he is ringing, you can set it to true. So then you can say some ring. So it can do that. Else you can say, so is ringing is false. So return is ringing value. That's what you have to develop. Final one is, so is ringing, you can return that, whatever the ringing value that you can. So that's all about how to develop these methods. Now we need to call these methods different classes. The other class you implemented. Now in two classes we implemented this interface. Like this you can implement in n number of classes. Same concept is implemented in the WebDriver. WebDriver is an interface there. That interface is implemented in the different browser classes. Different browser classes they implemented. So every browser logic is different. That's why for the same methods, the logic is going to change based on the browser behavior. That's the advantage of this interface concept. Any questions before going to? I'll show you how to call all these things. How to call. Then I can implement one more method to get this phone number. I'll write one interface method here. So,
Sir, where we use it constants?
constants you just declare anywhere you can call.
Okay.
So because those are public, I'm going to show you how to call them. You can use anywhere because those are public. Wherever you are calling, you can use that. Basically, the constants also in the Selenium they declared in the interface inside. Some file is one constant they have declared. So when you take a screenshot, that will come in the file format, byte format, or base64 format. Different formats you can take. So those constants they declared in the interface inside, and that constants you can use anywhere. So interface can be used to declare constants also. That we can use them wherever you want. Then how to call constants, I'll show you. So return I'll return this return type method. I'll write long get phone number. Okay, we need to implement this also. So in each class where is added here. So return phone number. Okay, so this is the method, right? So and here also implement. So you can implement same method. Whatever the interface method you are adding, see that you don't need to change, and you can come and implement your own way. So it's this phone number, you can get it. That's how we can call all this. Let's call these things because we just implemented now. How to call them? So I'll call in one class, create my own class. There I'm going to call each and everything. First, test interface. Okay, just testing the interface thing, whether it is What is the method I told you how to call? First you have to create the relationship, which class methods you want to call. Which class methods you want to call. So just interface name, the reference variable equal to new implemented class. Where you implemented this interface, implemented class. This is what you need. Interface. What is the interface? iTelephone. So IT object equal to new mobile phone. I'm just giving new mobile phone. So this has a parameterized constructor. So you need to do that parameterized constructor value. What I'm it is putting it in capital L you have to. So that's a long, right? Long integer means you have to declare capital. Okay. So now first how to call the methods. We all call the methods. Now mobile logic we will get it. Dot power on one method. IT object dot so dial. So just dial this number. How can you get this number? I can give get phone number method. So how can you get IT object, right? IT object dot get phone number. Okay, that's a method only I'm calling. So as a value, if you want to pass, I'm calling another method. So otherwise I cannot hard code this here, right? So you're calling the method. So IT object dot so another one answer you can call. So IT object dot call phone. Here also see that. So IT object dot get phone number. Then IT object dot is ringing. Is ringing is a Boolean value. So you can just so get even this is also Boolean value, right? This is also returns a value. All this can directly put in the print statement. So mobile is ringing. So like this, we can get all the return type methods how to call. I told you. So here I'll show you Boolean bn equal to. That's what, because this is the return type method. Call phone is a return type method. Returns a Boolean value. So whether you are calling or not, you can find it. Bn value. So print that. So these are all how to call void methods and return type methods. So this I have shown you how to call the implemented methods. Now you can call default methods. Call default. So one interface method, how can you call default methods? Again, same IT object dot and message, right? That's how to call the default method. So call static method of interface. How can you call? What is the formula? Interface name dot static method. Okay, remember these points. Now this is a again return type method. So I can call directly in the print statement, or you can store the value in some variable and you can use it that wherever you want. Now, find value is I can just calculate, right? Interface name iTelephone dot that cube method. So 5 cube. How to call the constants? Interface constants. Constant min watts value is. How can you call? iTelephone dot minimum watts. So the static constants, how can you call? Interface constants, how can you call? How can you call the interface constants?
Class name.
Not class name, madam.
Interface name
Dot
Okay.
constants.
dot constant
So interface name
dot constant.
dot constant. So that's the very important, all these points. So if you remember these points, then it will be easy for us. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem. And all these points you're going to use. Exactly. Got the constant value, got the cube. But so what is the special here? You don't need to change this code if you want to call other class implementation logic if you want. For example, I want this phone logic. What you can do, you can just change here only. You can just change in this line only. You don't need to change in all the places. That's the advantage here. Desk phone. You can just put it. So this is just you change it in a single line, that interface and that implementing class object you are creating, and remaining code as it is you can use. The methods you don't need to change. That's advantage. See that again my code will export without changing anything here. See that all desk phone related logic will print for it. That's the advantage with the interface and that implementing class. And last one, how can you, are you clear how to call interface and that implementing classes?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
Ganesh.
how to call in out of the package? So these are in this package, right? How can you call in another package? So let's go, and I'll in the basic programs, I'll call this test interface. Let me show you all interface methods or interface members. They simply members. So take the what will happen if one package classes interfaces if you want to use in another package? So what is the first step?
Import.
Import. Super. Import we are going to do. Again, same formula. Interface reference of object equal to new implementing class. The concept is same. What is interface name? iTelephone. iTelephone IT object equal to new so mobile phone. To give the different, it is throwing error. Why? Mouse over there. Import iTelephone from Oops programs package. That's what it is telling. Import mobile phone class from this package. See that all the import statements are added. Now errors are gone. That's import, right? You can just see that IT object dot power on, right? So IT object dot answer. So IT object dot to dial. So IT object dot get phone number. So IT object dot to call phone or dial, whatever it is. IT dot get to call phone. Call phone is a return type method. So return type you can put directly in the print statement also. Are we calling? Just and the return type method I can call in the print statement. Another one is ringing, is ringing. Like and interface abstract method. All interface abstract. Sorry, default method. Those are all abstract. Default methods. Default methods is developed, right? Type object that send message. You can call, and you can call static methods. IT object dot cube. Sorry, interface name, right? iTelephone dot cube. So for instance, you can call iTelephone dot minimum word. It doesn't matter. Once you import, everything is same. Okay. So that's how to call this interface methods in another place. Okay. So that's all. Tomorrow I'll show you one